So, hello and welcome everyone to our practice space together. So, for the theme of today's practice, I'd like to pick up in a similar vein where we're practicing on Wednesday with the theme of putting down or letting go, and bring another nuance, another consideration into it. And this idea of letting go of what is not beneficial, what is not wholesome, what is not needed in this moment in order to make space for what is wholesome, to make space for peace, to make space for during our meditation, quiet, silence, as a way of also self-care, as an expression of love for ourselves, taking care of ourselves and taking care of others when we're more available, when there is more care. We care for ourselves with more stillness and love. And one quote that I like to bring in to inspire, to be serve as an inspiration for our practice together is a quote by Thomas Merton, who was a mystic, writer, priest, and beautiful being. So here is the quote. The rush and pressure of modern life, and mind you, he wrote this, I think he passed away in the 40s. Am I right? Let me quickly check. He passed away. Well, anyway, he passed away long before the age of the internet. He passed away in 1968. So he definitely wrote this even before the age of the internet. So whatever he's saying about the busyness of modern life, you can put it on steroids and imagine just how much more profound, of course, this applies to our situation. So yes, he was a Taoist monk. That's it. He was a Taoist monk, theologian, mystic poet, social activist, and scholar. So he says, the rush and pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form, of its innate violence. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone in everything, is to succumb to violence. The frenzy of our activism, the frenzy of our activism neutralizes our work for peace. It destroys our own inner capacity for peace. It destroys the faith, the fruitfulness of our work, of our own work, because it kills the root of inner wisdom, which makes work fruitful. So I'll reread a part of this again. The rush and pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form, of its innate violence. To allow oneself to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to commit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone and everything, is to succumb to violence. So, powerful words, this busyness of our modern lives, to want to help everyone in everything, to be carried away by a multitude of conflicting concerns, surrendering to too many demands. It kills the inner peace. It kills our inner peace, which really is the foundation for service, to care for ourselves and for others. So, with this as an inspiration, I'd like to lead us into a guided meditation, especially this Friday, and for some of you Saturday, for Mary Christina in Sydney, Australia, in stillness, in a way to let go, to put down all the multitudes, just to come back, just to come to our heart, to this moment. So I'd like to invite you to land in your meditation posture. Whatever is supportive for you in this body, sitting, lying down. And can we let go? Can we let go in this moment of preoccupations? Not necessary in this moment. Can we set our intention at the outset? Set our intention with uprightness, with a sense of integrity and dignity. Can we set our hearts, our intention to put down, to let go? Oh, what is not necessary right now? What is extra? Preoccupations, worries, as much as possible, as much as may be available. And having set our intention with wholesomeness, for letting go, for putting down. Can we release? Is it possible to invite the tension in the body to be softened, released? The tightness, the holding. Can we bring our awareness, letting go of thoughts, of preoccupations, stories? Can we put down the stories right now? Release the stories. No stories right now. Thank you, stories. Not needed in this moment. And gently invite our awareness to the body, to the experience of breathing, being breathed. Letting the breath fill the abdomen, the chest, the whole body on its own. No work needed. On our end, just noticing that it's already happening. Simply being aware. Simply being aware. No extra effort is needed. Putting down the extra effort. Can this putting down for what is not needed in this moment, what is extra, be seen as care, as metta, as love for ourselves, this relinquishment. It's a foundation of inner peace. It's a foundation to make space for care and love for ourselves and others and the world. Can we let go, release this inner violence of our time? In the words of Thomas Merton, the inner preoccupation with all the demands we have taken up in this moment. Relinquish, release, favor of peace, stability, space to be and not do, non-doing. can we see the equivalence of relinquishment and love? Relinquishing what's not needed, what's extra, what's burdensome, to release into love and care for ourselves, stillness and in spaciousness. inner silence. Be a place for loving oneself, caring for oneself, stilling the mind. Feeling nourished. Even if it's a mind storm in this moment, simply ask, is it possible to put it down in this moment? Is it possible? Just gently ask the question without forcing, without forcing. Just gently ask the question. And often with that question alone, things are let go of. And if not, it's okay. Being patient, giving it space, a lot of space. Doesn't have to be center stage. Plenty of space for stillness and silence. putting down again and again whatever is extra, doesn't serve, needs to be put down again and again. It's okay, with patience, gentleness, and ease. It's a way to nourish, to care for yourself. As if you're a little chickadee in a comfortable nest, nurturing, soothing nest of your heart, letting go of whatever is extra in the nest. Take space. Resting in the nest of the heart, without clutter, without what's extra. And for the last moments of this practice period, as we come to a close, if any criticism, self-judgment arises, or how it went or how it didn't go for you, it's extra. It's extra. Self-criticism doesn't need to be in the nest of the heart. Letting go. Letting go, relinquishing, releasing, and appreciating that you showed up. You tried as best as you were able to, given the causes and conditions in this moment. And letting go of whatever arose or did not arise. And meeting this moment, fresh and anew. May all beings be free, including us. Thank you all. Thank you for your practice. So before we turn to practicing in small groups in Sangha and community, I'd like to invite you, if you'd like to share any reflections from your practice and the observations, you can type them in chat. If it's to everyone, I'll read your name. If it's just to me, it'll be private. I won't say your name out loud. And I read the reflection. You can also raise your Zoom hand, and especially if you haven't spoken for a while, if you haven't shared, or if you're new, would love to hear your reflections, your questions, your comments, your observations as a gift offered to the Sangha, to yourself to be held witness, and to others. It's always of benefit, all reflections and questions. So, as I wait for any reflections that might bubble up from you, I'll share that for me. What I noticed with this practice was a lot of inner stillness, a lot of inner care, inner stillness as a way of nourishment and care. Became more and more prevalent. And yes, putting things down, preoccupations and thoughts over and over again with patience is part of this practice, just part of this practice when we've gone through the whole day or whole week with lots of demands, especially given our modern lives. It's natural to have to put down, to gently incline the mind, to put down, to put down. And sometimes it's not possible, and that's okay. We set the intention, but we're gentle with letting go not being possible. Nicholas says the phrase sowing seeds of presence came up as a kind response whenever the mind got swept up. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Nicholas, for sharing that. Sowing seeds of presence. Yeah, lovely. Sowing seeds of presence. What a gentle, what a beautifully gentle and wholesome image. Love it. Sowing seeds of presence. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for your appreciation. Person sent it to me. It's privately. Yeah. And another one, another reflection. I love the little bird in the nest, just like our hearts. Yeah. And I see Nancy, please.
I think you were saying something about extra. It's extra. I have too many fans going to have heard you the entire context of what you were saying. But in my meditation, I was trying to let go of all of this stuff that was extra. And so I heard those words, and it was very helpful. I hope you actually said them and I didn't misunderstand you, but
Yes, I did say that, Nancy. You heard it just right, given all the fans. That's exactly right. And it
it
delights
got
me to
me.
yeah, it got you. And it sounds like it was helpful. I'm delighted to hear that. Yeah. Thank you. Noticing what is extra. Great. Beautiful. Thanks, Nancy. And Casey, please.
Hi, Nikki. Thank you so
Ah,
much for another beautiful guided meditation. There are a lot of phrases tonight that really resonated with me. And I had a visceral response. I think it was the part where you said putting down, as well as there's enough space for stillness and silence. And my body just kind of went like it felt like relaxed, like ah. And there was like this appreciation coming forward. And it was interesting also when you talked about silence and how this past year and a half, I've been really hypersensitive to sound. And I'm not sure if it's because I haven't been able to sleep very well, but there's a lot of noise around me, but I crave silence. So I was wondering, I have such, because I'm so hypersensitive to sound, I have like I've developed, I feel like dog ears where I'm just like, I wish my hearing wasn't so good. It's never been this good. But anyways, I'm wondering if you have any advice or guidance because I have such aversion to a lot of different sounds because my nervous
yeah.
system's out of balance. But I really crave silence. And I know that people have mentioned, like go in inner silence, but I haven't able to master that. So any tips would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Casey. Thank you for what you brought up. And what you're sharing is not uncommon for the past year with everything that has happened, becoming hyper vigilant, and then their sense of sounds. And here I am. I don't know if you can hear through the mic the sound of the ambulance going. Yeah. So what you're describing, uh, the hypersensitivity to sound and the wanting, the craving for silence, and really is coming through, is being co-created by what you mentioned, which is the aversion to sound, which is the aversion. So the aversion is what is making the dog ears, the hypersensitivity. If there wasn't the aversion, the lens of aversion, I don't want sound, I want silence, I want silence, then like you see, if I all of a sudden told you color whatever red is terrible, bad, then all you would see in your environment is color red. It's like, oh my god, danger, danger, I don't want color red. Oh my gosh, she's wearing red. Right, it just, you become hypersensitive to it, right? So basically the clue, the way to work with it is through the aversion. Really, that is what hooking it in place. So so notice the aversion, notice the aversion. Like, I hate sound, I hate sound. Why? It's just sound. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just in the environment. It's this affiliation, the association, that's bringing all the suffering, the way that the mind is seeing it. So bring the attention with kindness, with gentleness to the aversion. Like, oh, sweetie, it's just aversion. It's just aversion. It's okay. Make friends with the aversion. Then make friends with what's underneath the aversion, which is the unpleasant Vedana, unpleasant feeling tone. Oh, my mind just perceives it as pleasant, as unpleasant. Okay, it's just unpleasant. Big deal. And slowly it will lose its hold on you. And there can be a lot of sound without the reactivity. And then there can be the nourishing, the enjoying the inner silence, even though it could be a lot of noise around. But it's really, I'm pointing to the aversion, which is on top of the reactivity to the unpleasantness. So when when the reactivity to the unpleasantness is met with, oh, it's just unpleasant. Okay, it's unpleasant. Big deal. It's not going to kill me. It's just unpleasant. Then you're not giving it power. Otherwise, you're giving it power. It's unpleasant. It's like, okay, here, take, have power over me. Like do you see how it happens? Pleasantness. So that's what I would like to offer you as a way to work with it and happy to reflect again later, come back and you can share how it went. Okay, great. Thank you, Casey. So, dear ones, the time has come for us to turn into small practice groups or Sangha to practice together. So I'll create the small groups, and the invitation is to start with 15 seconds of silent metta for each other. And then take care of each other, take care of yourselves. Really important to be sensitive to each other, sensitive to yourselves, and let go of what is not needed. What is not needed? Just saying only what's needed. And maybe you'll spend time in silence. And if there's awkwardness in silence, awkwardness is not needed. Let the awkwardness go from your mind. See if you can be in community with just care and ease. So it can be profound practice. Put down what is not needed. Put down what is not needed. Whether it's, oh, I want to sound impressive, not needed. Oh, I don't have anything to say of value, not needed. Just put it all down. See, explore, experiment. All right, I'm opening the rooms and here we go. All right, everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. The rooms are closed. And we have about a minute for reflections. If you notice something in the practice meetings, if you haven't shared, please, would love to hear from you. Neil, please.
So I was in a room with three, and we all found this to be, a very warm and sweet experience. Each in a different sort of way. It was, and I will tell you, while you were talking, I'm like, what is she doing? This isn't metta, but you know, it was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Yeah, I appreciate the report back from the group. It's metta shows up in so many ways without phrases, and making space for metta, making space for care and love in this way is quite radical. It's actually quite radical. And I like to share radical teachings. How's that? So, yes. Okay, so let's make this the last comment. It's Suhanga. I forget since your name says iPhone. Here, please. Oops. Oh, wait, we're having. Okay, there you go. One more time. If you unmute yourself. Oh, there. Perfect.
Here it comes. So, um, just letting you know that I just want to really practice letting go of everything, and it feels like it's just letting go of whole series just like scares me off of like losing my power over something that I want to accomplish. It just it keep like haunting my mind. So it caused not letting go. So I hope that you can just give me some advice, or maybe I'll just practice more.
Yeah. So the question you're asking is complicated enough, and I need to ask you more questions about what
Yeah.
it is you mean. So what this is what I'll do. Tell you what. We'll formally close the, and then I'm happy to stay a few minutes extra
Yeah,
afterwards
sure.
and ask a question. Then Jennifer says, Nikki, as you responded to Casey's question, I really appreciate your comment about how we co-create our experience. You're welcome, Jennifer. And this is very important. And also Yerba on YouTube appreciated both also the question that Casey asked and the response. Yes, it's so much about co-creation. And maybe next time, maybe on Monday, I'll talk more about how we co-create so much in our reality. It's so important. So, dear ones, thank you so much for co-creating a beautiful reality of your practice and showing up to cultivate this for yourself and for all beings everywhere. May all beings be well. May all beings be free. Thanks all. Take good care. Be well. Let go of what's extra. See you next week.